Thank you for tuning in with us for our first ever virtual Hoosier Holidays. This program is such a great tradition, and I'm grateful that we get the chance to continue it under unprecedented circumstances. I'm Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb.
And I'm First Lady Janet Holcomb, and this is our dog, Henry. We are so happy to have all of you join us in our home here at the Governor's Residence to celebrate Christmas. We have some very special things in store for you today. We will be hearing from some tremendous Indiana choirs, and we'll even have some visitors from the North Pole. To start this program off, no matter where you are, if you would, please stand and put your hand over your heart as the Pixie Playhouse leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This holiday season looks different in so many ways. You may have spent a lot more time at home than usual, but on the bright side, there truly is no place like home for the holidays.
There's no place like home for the holidays, and no matter how far away you roam, when you find the sunshine of a friendly day, for the holidays you can't be home, sweet home. For the holidays you can't be home, sweet home.
I wanted to take just a moment to thank our friends at the Indiana Christmas Tree Growers Association. For 61 years, they've been donating trees to help make the Indiana State House and the Governor's Residence a little more festive.
This year, 14 trees were donated by 11 Indiana Christmas tree farms. You can find a farm near you at indianachristmastrees.com.
A Christmas tree quickly puts me in the holiday spirit. Even Henry got in on the fun.
We even have a short message from Mrs. Cassens, who delivered the tree here.
On behalf of the Indiana Christmas Tree Growers Association, I would like to present this tree to the Governor's Residence. This tree was from Cassens Trees, or is from Cassens Trees, which is in West Lafayette, Tippecanoe County, Indiana. And thank you for your service.
Up next, we are delighted to have a performance by Les Chanteuses from the Plainfield High School, performing Believe from Polar Express.
Dreams are falling.
There are so many talented Hoosiers out there, aren't there?
Absolutely. It looks like we just have some special guests from the North Pole here to read us a story.
First of all, we want to thank the governor and the first lady for having us here today, and thank you very much.
I'm going to be reading The Night Before Christmas by Clement C. Moore. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. A little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his courses they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the courses they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he rode out of sight,
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
That story is a classic. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Indianapolis Children's Choir performing Night of Silence.
Thank you.
Up next, a performance of At Christmas by Marion High School Choir under the direction of Kelly Williams.
It's my favorite time of year. Doorbells ring and everybody's here. There's the candy room and the dining room tonight.
Why better warm it up? Love for the phone that fill your cup. Love and laughter up to the rafters, alright.
No place that I'd rather be than with my friends and family. 'Cause all the rides are so much better. Being with the ones you love by the fire. All together at Christmas. So it's fall in my heart to sing. Here's a toast to the joy it's bringing. All together at Christmas. You can feel it everywhere you go. The whole town wrapped up in a bow. The best time of year when everybody's giving a smile. No place that I'd rather be than with my friends and family. 'Cause all the rides are so much better. Being with the ones you love by the fire. All together at Christmas. So it's fall in my heart to sing. Here's a toast to the joy it's bringing. All together at Christmas. Yeah, all together at Christmas. There's no place that I'd rather be than with my friends and family. All the lights are so much brighter. Being with the ones you love by the fire. All together at Christmas. So it's fall in my heart to sing it. Here's a toast to the joy it's bringing. All together at Christmas. No, nothing is better than all together at Christmas.
To close our program, we'll hear from Heritage Christian High School Choir with a virtual performance of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Let your heart
Thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you enjoyed today's program.
We hope you all have a safe and wonderful holiday.